Trench warfare, a phrase that makes most people think of World War I, with troops hunkered down in long, deep trenches. Most people thought those days were gone, but footage like this that's emerged from Ukraine has shown that trench warfare is far from obsolete. I spoke to Justin Crump, a former British tank commander, to get his thoughts about comparisons with the Great War.
I will say, actually, to a little extent, that's overstated if you look at the real scale of First World War fortifications, trench works, the scale of artillery, the scale of casualties and everything else. I mean, it is in a different league altogether compared to what we see in Ukraine. And maybe a better parallel is the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s. And those of us who served in Iraq will have seen the fortifications still in the desert from that conflict, where they've remained ever since. So there are, precedents, and I think again it's overstating it to say it's First World War style, but it's certainly a style of conflict that I think most Western military thinkers wouldn't have expected to see.
So we have to be cautious about too eagerly drawing comparisons with World War I, but it's hard to ignore the similarities in the conditions that troops are enduring. Dr. Stephen Bull is an expert on the history of trench warfare.
We're seeing everything that the soldier needs to do being done in and around those trenches. Something that Edmund Dane, writing in 1915, called trench town, and it's a term that I tend to use as well because that's what it becomes. It becomes somewhere you sleep, somewhere you eat, somewhere you use as the loo. It becomes everything. Your dressing stations are there, your communications posts are there. The whole thing becomes like at least a village, if not a town, dug into the ground.
So why are we seeing this kind of fighting in the 21st century? After all, technology and tactics have modernised, but neither side have the supply of sophisticated weaponry and resources needed for modern mobile warfare. And they're relying on large numbers of volunteers, and many probably don't understand more advanced military strategies. So the trenches are again at the heart of the battle.
This is the way the Soviets looked at defense. They constructed trenches quickly in continuous lines, multiple phased areas of defense. And of course, the Ukrainians have grown up in that school of thought, although they're westernizing their military thinking. And of course, the Russians have never moved away from that. So it's been a long facet of the battlefield. It's something they're comfortable with. It's something their doctrine on both sides emphasizes. And so things are very much focused around that sort of defense.
Trench warfare might seem outdated, but as the war in Ukraine has shown, it can still play a significant role in modern conflicts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.